Can we do anaerobic exercises such as HIIT or strength training while in keto? Or would that result in muscle mass loss due to increasing need of the body to produce glucose, the rate of producing glucose from fat being relatively slow?
All right, so first of all, let's define anaerobic. Anaerobic means without oxygen. So, Tara mentioned HIIT, high intensity interval training. That's where you're going to the point where that's the type of exercise where it would take a miracle for you to say a sentence to the person next to you. If you have enough oxygen to make words, then you're not necessarily anaerobic, right? So anaerobic is...
And you can't sustain that effort.
And it's not sustainable for more than
20 seconds.
Yeah, something
usually.
like that. Yeah. Okay, so this was Volek did a study on aerobic exercise, and I'm going to tie this back to anaerobics, but he did it on ultra endurance athletes. And I know that Volek's studies are always done on fat adapted, well keto adapted athletes. So this is not something that they did on athletes that were high carb and then they put them on a low carb diet for 5 days and then said, okay, let's go do the study. That's not the way they operate. So they found that in endurance athletes, that people on a low carb diet who were fat adapted had the same ability to what they call, I don't want to get this wrong, repletion of muscle glycogen. So that means restoring your muscle glycogen after it's been used, right? So he found that low carb athletes had the same ability to restore muscle glycogen after use as, high carb athletes. And their utilization rates were also the same. So muscle glycogen utilization rates during exercise were the same. So I say, and this is just some conjecture, if glycogen repletion rates and resting rates are similar between low carb and high carb athletes, then low carb athletes have a strong ability to restore used glycogen. And if anaerobic exercise only requires short bursts of fuel, you're not going to burn through all of that muscle glycogen in a single exercise session, because there's upwards of 2,000 calories worth of stored muscle glycogen in your body. If you're working out to the point where you're burning 2,000 calories in an exercise session doing HIIT or strength training, I would like to meet you, because that is pretty incredible. Also, if you're a well fat adapted athlete, or just well fat adapted, you don't have to be an athlete, then you are already burning fat for fuel before the exercise workout, before the exercise happens. So there's already building blocks to make new glycogen, make new glucose. Mm-hmm. So when fat is being burned, it's, the triglycerides are broken down into the fat, and then the glycerol backbone goes into the liver and can be used to make glucose. What else did I write down here? So most of the studies that have been done on anaerobic exercise and keto adapted or keto are not being done on keto adapted athletes. The one I read was they put these high carb athletes on a keto diet for 4 days and then said, okay, let's do this study.
Right in the middle of the keto flu, right? Right in
yeah.
the middle of their body struggling to learn how to efficiently make these ketones and then use these ketones for energy. They're doing these studies. So of course they're not going to get great results. So, but just a normal person can see this. Anybody can see this happening in their body. Before you do a workout, take your blood sugar level, measure it. And then after your workout, measure it.
Yeah.
It's going to go up.
Yeah.
A lot.
So,
and that's normal. That is your body producing its own glucose.
Mine will go up 50 points during an exercise session for an hour. So I'm not eating anything during that time, but I am breaking down fat to make new glucose.
Right. Your body's making its own glucose to fill those glycogen stores back up.
Right. Yeah, and so they have shown that. I think at the keto summit we were just at, they even talked about maybe keto athletes have a better ability to restore muscle glycogen than low carb or high carb athletes. So also ketones are muscle sparing. They block inflammation. They promote muscle protein synthesis or the building of new muscles. So yes, you can do HIIT. You can do strength training while in ketosis. It's always better if you're keto, pretty well keto adapted at that point. Tara always wants me to flex my muscles on the screen, but I don't want to.
Proof of concept. Like, this guy has gained so much strength on keto more efficiently with less like aches and pains and injuries than ever before. I mean, we were married.
Yeah, I used to injure myself like once a year.
Oh, at least.
Pretty bad.
It aches and pains, and that doesn't happen as much.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with just how keto impacts your physiology.
Yeah.